globally we throw away 50 million metric tons of textile waste. All of the clothes that everybody wears end up in a landfill. Consumers have no idea how their clothing affects the environment. Up to 10% of global carbon emissions can be tracked directly back to the apparel industry. It is a colossal problem. You can't make fabric without fiber. 90% of the market is predicated on two fibers, polyester and cotton. Both fibers that require a lot of natural resources. We've got to figure out a way to get a system onto something that's sustainable into the future. Evrnu specializes in taking old clothes and turning them into new clothes that are designed to come back into the system and be recycled again. I'm a connoisseur of fabric. When I look at a piece of fabric, I know how it's made. I can feel it and know how much it weighs. I can tell you how it was woven or knit. I can tell you how it was dyed. I can tell you how it was finished. And I can tell you why it's special. My stepmother is a master seamstress, and she taught me how to sew when I was pretty young. So I fell in love with the way fabrics felt and draped and how you could manipulate them, and their shape and texture. Just really had a strong appreciation for fabric. It's the tool that you use to make something. It could be a jacket, it could be a dress, it could be a pant. Its possibility is limitless. I'm Stacy Flynn, CEO and co-founder of Evrnu. I grew up in Rochester, New York, and I come from a really big family. I think I was the first one to leave the town. I moved to New York City in 1994 to go to the Fashion Institute of Technology, where I studied textile development and marketing. No one in my family went to college before I did. When I graduated from FIT, I got hired by DuPont, and I was North American fabric sourcing and testing manager. And then Target hired me. That's when I started traveling around the world and really got a sense of how big this industry is and all of the moving parts to manage the business and the aesthetics in combination with each other. My eyes were opened in 2010 when I was working for an early stage company here in Seattle. They sent me to China, and I was really shocked awake by how damaging my industry is to the environment. My colleague and I got out of the car at this one factory. We were standing right next to each other and we couldn't see each other. There was so much pollution. I began adding up how many millions of yards of fabric I had made in my career. And I had so much pride for the scale at which I had operated in the world. I was like, you did this. Maybe not all of it, but you did enough to take responsibility. So I decided that I wanted to use the rest of whatever was left of my career to find solutions that were in alignment with nature, not against nature. Christo has always been a really important mentor, and when I started to do my research around where I wanted to intervene, I presented my research to several textile engineers that I'd worked with in the past, and they said what I wanted to do couldn't be done. And I've been laughed out of more than one university. And I finally got a hold of Christo, and I was like, I really think there's something here, and I can't let it go. And he's like, well, I don't know if it can be done. Let's try to prototype it.
My name is Christopher Stanev, and I'm the co-founder and chief technology officer of Evrnu. I'm a textile engineer. I've spent my career working 32 years in the textile industry, working in various innovation jobs for one of the biggest players in the industry. I work for Jones Apparel Group, for Target, for Nike. The biggest issue of the industry are the raw materials, how they are made and how they end up their life. The mechanical recycling of cotton has been around 100 of years but never made it a big time. The main reason is the fiber has a much weaker strength when they're recycled. So the key breakthrough is that for the first time we're producing a recycled fiber that is stronger than the original fiber. We're taking the fiber at the end of their life, we're extracting the polymers, We're purifying them and we're bringing them in the beginning of the supply chain as a new 3D printed fiber that can seamlessly be run through the system over and over again. Everything starts with collecting the old textiles. We're sorting these garments first, then we're removing the dyes. Then we're taking these purified, bleached garments, we're chemically liquefying it. We're taking the initial cotton and we're rearranging the molecules, their crystallinity, and the morphology of the fiber. This way we're optimizing the strength and the performance of the fiber. And then we're injecting this liquid into different shape and forms called extrusion. We're baling them and we're providing these bales in the beginning of the supply chain where the spinning mills and then the weaving and knitting mills use them instead or together with cotton or other fibers.
This is the very first prototype we made. So we presented this to Levi's so that we could develop a proof of concept to show folks what was possible with regenerative garment waste. From there, we made the Adidas product. And this product was originally cotton and polyester. They asked us to replace the polyester with NewCycle. This is the solution. This is 100% NewCycle lyocell. This could replace polyester in its current form for wash and wear clothing. And they're fully recyclable, which is really where we get the biggest impact reduction long term. Landfills create methane. Methane is more potent than CO2. So keeping textiles out of landfills and avoiding that methane is where we get the biggest near-term impact reduction.
We don't require any land to grow anything. We don't require any oil extracted from the ground. So we are drastically reducing the emissions. We were running some comparison. Our carbon footprint is only about 6-7% compared to virgin fibers. We use less than 2% of the water necessary to grow a kilogram of cotton.
When I started this company, I thought that nature was outside of me. And it wasn't until I started this business that I started to realize, like, I am part of nature and it is part of me. Designers pull so much of their inspiration from nature, but they don't necessarily know how to align the way they make things with nature. So that's really where they rely on good engineers, good scientists to help bridge that gap. And that's really what we're trying to do.